Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Now, I'm in the process of moving, so what you see behind me is going to be no more in the next video. So I just wanted to just let you guys know that, just in case you're like, why has Lexi's background changed? Not that I'm sure you guys don't really care, but it is a little bit bittersweet because I've been so used to my background and that's gonna change. Now let's just get straight into this video. So this video is about why it's hard to love the INFP. Obviously, we're not hard to love. It's just perhaps people misconstrued us or don't really understand us fully because we are such unique individuals on this planet and we are here to challenge things and to heal things as well. So the title of this video is pretty much clickbait, I guess, because it's not that we are hard to love. It's that it's all about understanding the INFP and what rocks them at their core. So if you want to know, stay tuned. The first reason why INFPs are so hard to love is because we challenge the ego. Now, I know this sounds like the INFP might be high and mighty, but really let me explain. Most people on this planet go through life simply trying to survive, which means when we enter our different roles in society, whether that be going to a job, we wear that hat, or coming home and looking after kids, we wear that hat, or seeing our parents or our in-laws, we wear that hat. We have a tendency to put a mask on, and this really is to, I guess, shield us or to stop people from dismantling our egos. We are really fragile creatures unless we're narcissistic. So there is a fair amount of needing to put a brave face on or change the way we are in social situations in order to gain approval. The other side of the coin of this is having an overinflated sense of ego or feeling like we are more than what our social circle is. People such as this tend to be what we could categorize as narcissistic or heading towards that path. It doesn't help that we have platforms such as social media in order to overinflate ourselves and to pretend as though our lives are all put together. I come across it all the time on my social media, and you know what? It does affect me negatively. When you see that your peers, when it looks like they're doing better than you and it looks like they have their lives all put together and they have everything they want, they bought a house, they have kids, they have the dream career, they're traveling, it can feel really disingenuous and pretty really, but is not real. What you see on social media is fabricated. It is highlighted aspects and overinflated aspects. When it comes to the INFP, we dismantle those values. Not the values that, you want to chase your dreams and have a happy life, of course. We fully support that. But more so, we dismantle the fabrication of what it means to have an overinflated sense of ego. So when you're in a relationship with an INFP, if you are a little bit egotistical or you enter social situations seeking approval, that INFP will either challenge that sense of ego or help you to feel okay to be yourself. And really what this comes down to, what this all equals, is being okay to be yourself. Not a fabricated or compensated version of you, but you. We are here to challenge the status quo. We are here to change the way our world works and to also heal people, to help people feel okay about being themselves. When all you've ever known is to gain the social approval of others or to inflate yourself so that you can influence others or so that others can look up to you, it can be really uncomfortable to face a mirror, to face a truth, and to face something incredibly organic, which is what the INFP offers. INFPs wear their hearts on their sleeve. They can do. INFPs also won't hold their ideas back, and they can be incredibly opinionated. And I know this goes totally against everything you've ever learned about the INFP because we just want to keep the peace, etc. This is actually surprisingly not true. When we are in situations which make us feel uncomfortable, we can be very reserved. We do not like conflict, but there is a catch to this. We can express our opinions about these kinds of situations in a very passive manner. For example, If this INFP is a creative person, like a musician, they have a tendency to write incredible pieces of music explaining the human condition behind this troubling situation. This is why we have really amazing musicians such as Kurt Cobain and Chris Cornell, who have gone before us. They were incredibly genuine within their music and within being famous. They were there to write music, and they were there to speak about or sing about the human condition so that they could express their introverted feeling, their innermost core values. INFPs also have a reputation of holding back in social situations. As I mentioned, they can be really quiet and they will tend to hold back what they value or their opinions about certain things. Now, this is where we get to the hard to love part. Until they enter a long-term romantic relationship or a relationship with people whom they absolutely trust 100% with who they are. This is where the active part of being passionate and opinionated comes in for the INFP. So when they fully trust people, when you are in their safety net, they won't hold back with how they feel about certain things. Whether that be something that's really romantic and something that's touched their hearts and they want to express to you how they feel because they trust you enough, or whether there is turmoil going within their lives or they have certain opinions about different things such as like politics, for example, they will not hold back. They will tell you everything about it. This ranges from emotions that the INFP feels to their thoughts and what they've come up with, their philosophies, their ideologies that they want to express. My husband has a term for this. He calls it intensity. He'll say, Lexi, you are so intense all the time. And it's so true. I am intense. When I am in the safety of being at home with my husband, I can tell him anything because I know that it's not going to put him off. I know that he's not going to run for the hills. I know that he accepts me for who I am. And that's what INFPs really want. Being intense like this is what I like to call oversharing. And really that's what it is, because I can go on for hours and hours and hours about a topic that I'm interested in, a topic that I've thought through incredibly thoroughly and I've picked it to pieces and I want to share it because it's such at my innermost core that I want to have that person I can share that with. As I said, we INFPs are here to challenge humanity and to heal humanity. And we challenge or express our ideas and our notions in such a unique way, and often with such immensible passion, like a fire is lit up inside of us, or what I used to refer to as the fire-breathing dragon. Hi, FI. INFPs feel very deeply and think very deeply, and we go about life very sensitive to the world around us. We internalize everything that we come across, and we always have an internal response to those different things, whether that's something that we feel via emotion or that we think really deeply about. This is why the INFP is very easily able to form deep thoughts, emotions, ideologies, or philosophies about certain things in society. This is how we go about inciting change or getting people to think about things differently, or to simply heal people depending on what that INFP values. While INFPs can be incredibly reserved in social situations, we can be quiet, we can appear like we're very meek and aloof and we don't have much to say. Deep down inside, or in the comfort of our privacy, we are fierce. We're flippin' fierce. Like, it freaks me out. It freaks me out, and I'm the one who feels that way. This fierceness, or what I like to call passion, is who that INFP actually is. This is who we are. And if you see this from the INFP, count yourself lucky that you've gotten to see who that INFP is right at their core. And obviously, this intensity can be quite overwhelming for the people in our lives, and we INFPs do express ourselves in very unconventional ways. We INFPs prioritize things differently, and this is due to partially our top two functions and our bottom two functions. So our bottom two functions, introverted sensing and extroverted thinking, mean that we will likely leave the dishes undone and also likely not meet deadlines before they are due. We as INFPs may appear pretty impractical. I'm not gonna lie, this bothers my husband. It irritates the living heck out of him. And you know, this is something that I do want to work on as an INFP. Like, I understand that it can be really frustrating for the people around me. I think one of the issues stands that those who come into our lives who this actually bothers, I think they think that we don't care about these certain things. We don't care about getting the dishes done or getting the bills paid on time or running this kind of errand or cleaning up the house. The truth, however, stands is that we INFPs do care. It's just that we prioritize things just a little bit differently, and the way that we go about expressing the way that we care may not translate very well. So that's why I'm going to explain to you guys why this happens. So we as INFPs do tend to be hunters rather than farmers, which means that we prefer challenges which require innovation and creativity and a sense of novelty. This further means that we are pretty good when it comes to times of crisis. We can think of things in really creative, innovative ways and really make a solid difference to an overall picture. And this is part of the reason why that INFPs tend to make really good entrepreneurs or do jobs or careers which are kind of out of the ordinary. We suit things that aren't rigid and structured and robotronic. The key here with the INFP is to understand that with us not meeting deadlines on time or doing the dishes, it's not that we don't care, it's that it's boring. So the key really to combat this issue is to make these kinds of things a little bit more fun, a little bit more novel, and to also make it so that we can use creativity and innovation to tackle these problems. We can be pretty difficult to understand, and this is something we pride ourselves on, which is kind of sad because we want to be understood, but then when people try to relate to us, we're like, no, you can't relate. You're not like me. You just don't know what it's like. But in all seriousness, this can be a difficult concept for potential romantic partners to grasp. This is why I feel it's really important that if you're really not vibing with the INFP, if you really don't get them, they're probably not right for you, because INFPs will not change who they are at their core. If they feel like you are challenging who they are, they're really going to resist. And as I say in every single video, this is not to be confused with behavior, because an INFP will change their behavior if they know that it's not growing anyone's corn. But who you are at your core, what your personality is, that's something that we don't have to change, that it's not going to negatively impact, or it should not negatively impact society overall. Our personalities are the way that they are. They're not positive or negative. They're just simply personality. So to change someone's personality just doesn't really make sense, because it's not like you're changing a toxic behavior. An INFP understands that, and they understand that what makes them tick, what makes them connect with others, is if they have a genuine, authentic connection. When INFPs connect with others, this means that the other person likely understands where that INFP is coming from, who that INFP is, and why they are the way that they are. INFPs go to great lengths to protect their individualism, and because they express themselves in such unique ways and their individualism in such unique ways, aka being intense, this can be hard for people to wrap their heads around. Sometimes it's just easier being romantically involved with what I guess we refer to as normies on the internet, but the INFP doesn't want to be a normie, so this can narrow down who our potential romantic partners may be, which is a good thing, because it means that there's really no surprises. When someone starts dating the INFP or getting to know the INFP, this INFP can come across as pretty reserved. They won't let you in 100% unless they fully trust you. They may seem really all over the place. One minute they are expressing their innermost selves to you, and the next minute they're nowhere to be seen for a week. This can be incredibly confusing, this kind of polarization within the INFP. But it's only because they're trying to figure out whether they can trust you or not. We really are the poster child of I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not. So if you're really not vibing with the INFP and you don't really like what they represent, that's okay. You don't have to be with anyone you don't want to be with. I'm so lucky I have my husband James, even though he does mention my intensity sometimes, but it's true. I can be very intense and I don't want to overwhelm people in my life. So I do understand there is a place and time with holding back and expressing myself, but that's only because relationships are about compromise and no situation's ever going to be perfect. Just as long as you know that you can have each other's backs and fight for the greater good together, you're pretty sweet. So I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you learned something new about the INFP. If you did, leave a comment below and I'll see you guys all again for the next video in my new house. Bye.